Hi.
Okay.
A lot of you may be wondering, what does Jesse do all the time when he runs off on the weekends? Does he really know anything about farming? What does he mean when he says he's stripping cane? Well, I'm here to do a demonstrational video today to tell you a little bit about what I'm up to and how we strip cane to make sorghum molasses. This is a sorghum plant right here, and it's what we use to make sorghum molasses. We call it stripping cane because I guess some people call it cane, or maybe because it's like sugar cane. I don't know. But in order to strip this cane plant, the first thing we'll need to do is take all the leaves off. You can pull them off like this, or if you've got gloves on, you can just put your hand on there and run down through there and get all the leaves off. Now that we've done that, we're going to have to chop off the top and chop it off. So I'm going to get my badass knife and go to work. So first we'll chop off the top, like so. Then we'll come around here and chop it off at the bottom, like so. And we've got our piece of cane. If you look here on the bottom, you can see all this white stuff. That's what we're eventually going to get. There's a bunch of juice in there that we'll use to make the molasses. So that's pretty much how you strip a piece of cane. So stay tuned for the next video about how we press the cane and then cook it.
Okay.
We're going? Hey everybody, this is the second video about the sorghum press. So let's say that we stripped a couple hundred of those canes that I did in the last video. Now we would press them through this press right here. This is an old-fashioned sorghum press, and what it has is it's got a couple big wheels in here. They're turned by this up here, which back in the old days would have been done by a horse running around a wheel. Nowadays we use a bobcat with an attachment we made that fits on there and turns it. So you'll notice that it's covered in some goo. That's some food grade grease just to keep everything moving real well. This is a really old sorghum press, and my aunt found it in a junkyard up in Carrollton. A guy had stopped using it, just thrown it in the fence row, and it was covered in dirt and just wasn't working at all. So we cleaned it out, we fixed it up, and now we're using it to make sorghum. So if you come a little closer, we can look here on it. It's pretty old. The date on here is 1889, number 22, made by New Charter Oak. So it's a pretty old piece of machinery, and we had to fix it up and put some new bolts and stuff in it to make it work. If you look right here, you can see that there's two large wheels that are geared up. I can't demonstrate right now because we already pressed the sorghum earlier, but if we had those sorghum canes, we would stuff them in there, and these wheels would be turning to pull it through, and all the juice would come out. The juice comes out over here into a bucket that we would have down there to get all of the juice. The rest comes out the end, and it'll look kind of like this stuff over here once it's all finished being pressed. We hauled a lot of that off already this morning. So that's how we press it. Once we press it, we take it over here. We strained it, which we also did this morning when it was too dark to film and we were all too busy. But we strain it through some sacks to get any cruft or anything that's left out of it. And then we bring it over here and cook it. This sorghum right here has been cooking for 5 or 6 hours. And when we started, it was full almost up to the top, but as you can see, it's boiled down a fair ways. All this stuff on the top here that's come up is chlorophyll and stuff, and we've been skimming that out of there to just clean it up. And when we first started, it was green. Now it's turning brown, and eventually it's going to start to bubble up even more than it is now, and then it'll go back down. It'll be ready to go. We've also got a thermometer right now. We're watching the temperature so we can get it out of there when it's right. Underneath here, we've got a pretty strong fire going to heat everything, as you can see right there. So that's kind of what we're doing to get the sorghum cooked. Then we're going to pull it off of there, bottle it, and then it'll be ready to eat. So I hope everybody learned something about making sorghum molasses, and that's all I've got. So as you can see, our molasses is starting to heat up now and expand, and it's getting bigger and bigger during the temperature. We've skimmed off most of the chlorophyll and stuff, and you can see that it's turning a darker brown. As it continues to cook, it's going to expand more and more until it gets to the right temperature, and then we're going to pull it off. What did you say the correct temperature was, Sharon?
36.
236 is what we're looking for. Starting to smell a lot like molasses right now, so watch it go. Yeah, I've got it.